Two twin toddlers accidentally call a millionaire discover the incredible life-changing rescue. In the heart of a cozy suburban neighborhood in Ohio, where every street is framed by white picket fences and the sweet scent of freshly mowed lawns wafts through the air, there lived two playful twin toddlers, Emma and Ethan. Their laughter echoed joyously off the houses, filling the street with a contagious cheerfulness. But behind this blissful scene was their hard-working mom, Maria, juggling long shifts at a local diner. She often dreamed of a life in which her twins would never experience struggles like she had. One evening, after a grueling day at work, Maria set her phone on the kitchen table, stealing a moment to catch her breath. The twins, propelled by their innocent curiosity, saw the bright screen gleaming and thought it was game time. Their tiny fingers danced across the screen, pushing buttons randomly, when suddenly ring. They dialed up Jack Thompson, a reclusive millionaire living in downtown Cleveland. Jack, living a life filled with silk ties and corporate meetings but lacking genuine connection, answered the phone, expecting a typical sales pitch. Instead, he was greeted by joyful giggles that rang through the phone like music, causing a tightness in his chest he had long forgotten. "Hello? Is everything okay?" he asked, mistaking their laughter for distress. As he rushed to their home, his heart raced in concern, but he could hardly anticipate the charming chaos he would soon encounter. Upon arriving, he discovered Emma and Ethan gleefully dragging their bright-colored toys across the living room carpet, completely oblivious to the world of adult worries outside. Before he knew it, Jack was enveloped in an overwhelming wave of innocence and joy. In an instant, he felt himself melting into their carefree spirit, as if their laughter were a balm for the loneliness he had carried for so long. "Wow, you two sure know how to have fun," he chuckled, his heart warming in ways he hadn't experienced in years. Maria appeared from the kitchen, wiping her hands on her apron, her determined smile revealing the weariness beneath. The moment their eyes met, he saw in her the resilience of a woman who had faced life's storms yet stood tall for her children. Then came the touching moment when the twins took Jack's hand, pulling him into their world. They baked imaginary cookies, spun around in circles, and shared their toys, all while filling the air with laughter that melted Jack's guarded heart. Oh, how he craved this connection, the simple yet profound joy of togetherness. He knew he had missed something essential in life, and for the first time in years, he felt hope flicker in his soul. Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. As time passed, Jack found himself entwined in Maria and the twins' lives, leading a back-to-school drive for kids in the neighborhood. This involvement stirred mixed reactions in the community. Some saw Jack's newfound kindness as a desperate attempt to redeem himself, while others marveled at the change they witnessed. But beneath the surface, Jack wrestled with his longing for belonging versus the solitude he'd grown accustomed to. As the drive approached, hesitation gripped him. Would he embrace this transformative path, or would he retreat back to his insular lifestyle? Just as he began to feel like he'd finally found his place, Maria dropped a bombshell revelation, one that could change everything he thought he knew. What lay ahead threatened to unravel the tender threads of connection they had begun to weave together, leaving him at a crossroads now filled with uncertainty. Jack stood at the crossroads of his newly discovered happiness, the warmth of Emma and Ethan's laughter still echoing in his mind. But Maria's words lingered like a dark cloud, casting a shadow over the joy he had found in their little world. "I don't know how to explain this," she had started, her voice trembling slightly as they sat in her modest living room. "But I have to go away for a while. It's about work." The words hit him like a bucket of ice water. Jack had just started to picture this community, this family, as a permanent fixture in his life. And now, everything seemed to hang in the balance. Maria continued, her eyes filled with a mix of fear and determination. "It's a chance for a better job. It's too good to pass up, and I have to make sure we can have a future, but it means leaving the twins with someone else for a bit. Thoughts raced through Jack's mind. Could he step in? Could he be the one to help raise the twins while Maria was away? Who else would keep their laughter alive in the house? A surge of protectiveness flared inside him. He had tasted the joy that came from these children, and he couldn't bear to see that joy dimmed or disrupted. Maria, if you need help, I'll be here. You can count on me, Jack offered, his voice firm. He knew it was a big commitment but couldn't shake the feeling that there was more at stake here than just a casual friendship. Maria looked at him, her expression softening. Are you sure? It won't be easy. They'll miss me. You're not just taking care of toys, you're taking care of them. I've been looking for something real to be a part of, Jack replied, confidence growing with each word. I want to help. I need to do this. With that, Jack began preparing himself for the whirlwind that was about to become his life. The twins were a handful, with their boundless energy and curious minds, but that energy was infectious, filling his empty home with laughter and hope. They explored the neighborhood, waved at passing neighbors, and even began to organize little playdates, much to Jack's surprise. Days turned into weeks. The afternoons filled with imaginary adventures and backyard fortresses. Jack found himself sitting on the floor, building with blocks, or racing toy cars alongside the twins, forgetting his past and embracing this messy, beautiful present. But with every joyful laugh, an undercurrent of worry pulled at him. What would happen when Maria returned? Would she expect everything to return to normal? Would he go back to being the lonely millionaire behind the silk ties and corporate walls? One evening, as Jack tucked the twins into bed, he sat in the dim light of their room, listening to their soft breaths. A small knot formed in his stomach, and he felt his heart race. Would they want him to stay? Could he convince Maria to change her plans? Suddenly, the phone rang, a low, persistent sound that pulled him from his thoughts. He hesitated, glancing back at the twins one last time before getting up to answer. What he heard next changed everything. Jack? It's Maria, her voice was steady but filled with urgency. There's something I need to tell you about my new job, it's bigger than I thought. His breath caught. What did she mean? And why did he suddenly feel like the ground was shifting beneath him, as if all he had built might come crashing down in an instant? Are you still there? Maria's voice broke through his thoughts, but he couldn't speak. What awaited him on the other end of that line would either bind him closer to Maria and the twins or shift everything he had come to care about into something uncertain. Jack's heart pounded as he struggled to find his voice. He could hear the tension in Maria's breath on the other end of the line. I'm here, he managed to say. What do you mean it's bigger? There was a brief silence, as if she were weighing her words carefully. Jack could practically feel the distance between them, the weight of their unspoken fears pressing down in that quiet moment. The job, it's not just temporary, Jack. They want me to relocate, maybe even overseas. Overseas. The word hung in the air, thick and heavy. Jack squeezed his eyes shut, trying to block out the implications. You mean you might not come back? I have to consider it, she said, and he could hear the hint of regret in her voice. It's a chance at my dream job. But I wouldn't abandon the kids. I couldn't. Jack inhaled sharply, the reality of the situation crashing over him. If Maria took this job, what would happen to Ethan and Emma? They were so full of light, their laughter ringing in his ears long after they'd fallen asleep. The thought of them being uprooted or, worse, left without their mother, twisted his heart into knots. Maria, I don't want the twins to lose you, Jack said, his voice almost a whisper, fear gripping him. Can't we figure out another way? I know, and I wish we could. If there was any other option, her voice trailed off, leaving a painful silence in its wake. Jack wasn't ready to lose this family he hadn't realized he needed. He thought of the countless afternoons spent together, the deep conversations with Maria over coffee, the soft whispers shared in the glow of the twins' nightlight. This wasn't just about him or her dreams anymore, this was about everything they had built together, however new and fragile. Then let us play it out. Together. You don't have to decide right now, he urged, determination creeping into his tone. I'm here for you. I'm here for them. Whatever you choose, let us do this together. He could hear Maria's breath hitch on the other end. You really mean that? With a gentle nod, Jack stared at the modest room painted in soft pastels, filled with toys and dreams. I'll be here. As if sensing the gravity of the moment, the twins stirred in their sleep, their tiny forms shifting under the blankets. Jack felt a surge of feeling wash over him, hope mixed with fear, like contrasting colors fighting for dominance on a canvas. I want us to be a family in whatever way we can, he said, the urgency of his words hanging heavily in the air. But you have to promise me that you won't go away without talking it through. I promise, Maria replied, her voice steadier now. You've been a rock for us. I can't thank you enough. Lowering himself to sit on the edge of the twins' bed, Jack watched their little faces, peaceful and beautiful. It's not just me. We're in this together, remember? But even as he spoke, a shadow of uncertainty clouded his mind. How would he navigate this new reality if Maria moved away? Would their bond hold strong, or would it slip through his fingers like sand? Jack, I'll keep you updated. I'll call tomorrow, Maria said, breaking through his thoughts. Okay, he replied, though the word felt inadequate. As he ended the call, he realized he was at a crossroads again, both afraid and hopeful. What had started as a joyful endeavor was now tangled in dreams, obligations, and uncharted territory. He stood, looking down at the twins once more. Soon, they would wake to a world he hoped to keep bright for them, no matter what. But in the back of his mind, the echo of impending change loomed, reminding him that sometimes love demands the hardest choices. Jack took a deep breath, an idea forming. What if he could be a part of her journey, too? Maybe there was a way to create a future that wasn't just about giving up but about all the possibilities ahead. As he turned to leave the room, his heart pounding with resolve, he swore he could hear the whisper of a new path leading him forward. But what if that path turned out to be even more complicated than he imagined? The next morning, Jack woke to sunlight filtering through the curtains. It cast a warm glow in the room, illuminating the chaos of toys scattered across the floor, remnants of a late-night play session with Ethan and Emma. As he stretched, he felt the weight of the conversation with Maria settle heavily on his chest. He was grateful for her promise to call, but anxiety lurked in every corner of his mind. He moved quietly to the twins' room, careful not to disturb their sleep. Each breath they took filled him with warmth. Just seeing them brought a rush of clarity. He loved them fiercely. They were innocent and bright, and he couldn't imagine a life without them. If Maria moved away, everything would change. How could he explain that to them? Jack pulled a chair closer to the bed and sat down. He watched Ethan's little mouth flinch while dreaming, and Emma's tiny hands curled softly around a teddy bear. They were so full of possibility. But would they still feel that way if their mother wasn't around? He squeezed his eyes shut, forcing back the wave of pain. The phone in his pocket buzzed, breaking through his thoughts. It was an alert from a news app. He quickly read the headline, "Local Hero Rescues Children from a Burning Building." The story highlighted an ordinary man who had rushed into a house to save children trapped inside. The thought sparked something in Jack. What if he could be a hero, not just for the twins but for Maria too? He grabbed his phone and texted Maria. "Morning. Can we meet today? I have some ideas I want to discuss." The moment he hit send, he felt a mix of hope and dread. What if she didn't want to hear it? What if his idea was all wrong? With the sun climbing higher, the twins began to stir. Jack dashed to the kitchen, eager to prepare breakfast. As he flipped pancakes, the smell wafted through the air, warm and inviting. It reminded him of carefree summer days, where every meal could be a joyful occasion, every moment shared became a cherished memory. "Daddy!" Emma's little voice interrupted his thoughts. She stumbled into the kitchen, her hair disheveled but her smile radiant. Ethan followed closely behind her, sleep still lingering in his eyes. Jack's heart swelled, this was his family. "Morning, sunshine. Who's ready for a big pancake feast?" He grinned, mimicking a chef, spinning around to show off his cooking. The twins giggled, and in that moment, the heaviness in his heart lightened just a little. After breakfast, they played together in the living room. Jack watched them laugh, their eyes sparkling with joy. Each smile reminded him of the love they all shared. And then it hit him. What if we all moved together? Eager to propose his idea, Jack gathered the twins for a little family chat. "You two are such adventurers. How do you like to go on a big journey with Mommy? To a new place?" Ethan's brow furrowed in confusion. "Like a trip?" "Yeah. A big trip where we can make new memories." Jack's voice brimmed with enthusiasm, willing them to feel it too. He knew the suggestion might feel odd, but he needed to guide them toward understanding without scaring them. Emma clapped her tiny hands. "I want to see new things, Daddy." Jack smiled, heart racing. "Exactly. But we'll talk about it more once I hear from Mommy." Just then, his phone buzzed again. It was a message from Maria. "Can't wait to see you. Let us talk." The thrill shot through him, a spark of hope ignited. As he awaited her arrival, Jack felt energized. What if they all took this leap together? What if he could be the kind of partner who embraced love and adventure? Just as those thoughts crystallized, Jack glanced at the clock. Maria would arrive any minute. He took a deep breath, nerves tingling through him. He needed to be strong, ready to face whatever came next, and as he thought about the future that could unfold, one single question loomed over him: would Maria be as excited about a shared adventure as he was, or would she see it as another weight to bear? Jack paced nervously around the living room, glancing at the door every few seconds. The sound of the children's laughter faded into the background of his thoughts. What if Maria didn't understand? What if she didn't want to step into the unknown, especially if it meant uprooting their lives from what was familiar? "Daddy!" Emma's voice broke through his worry. She was stacking blocks, while Ethan focused intently on coloring a picture. Their innocence grounded him, but it also intensified his longing to protect their joy. They deserved all the happiness in the world. Suddenly, the doorbell chimed, sending a jolt of adrenaline through him. It was his heart racing, the moment he had been both dreading and yearning for. He opened the door to find Maria standing there, her hair gently tousled by the wind, as if the world itself was preparing for the conversation they were about to have. "Hi, Jack," she said softly, her eyes scanning the chaos of the living room, crayons scattered, puzzle pieces half finished, and a pancake plate now with only a few crumbly remnants left. She smiled, but the smile didn't quite reach her eyes. "Hey, come in." He stepped aside, inviting her into their world that felt both so comfortable and utterly chaotic at that moment. They settled on the couch, and Jack felt the intensity brewing in the air between them. "The kids wanted to talk to you about something," he began, his voice steady but quivering beneath its surface. "Really?" She raised her eyebrows, and the expression was a mixture of curiosity and concern. "Yeah, I had an idea, and I think they might like it." Jack glanced toward the twins, still lost in their own world. "What if we, take a trip together? A big adventure, just like the one we always talk about?" He held his breath as he awaited her response. Maria's face shifted. "A trip? I thought we were beyond that. I can't just pick up and leave." Her voice trailed off, and the weight of her feelings filled the room like thick smoke. "I'm not asking you to leave everything behind," Jack replied, fighting against the urge to retreat. "I just thought, what if we find a way to be together, you know? Like a fresh start for all of us." She looked down, fidgeting with her hands. You don't understand how complicated this all is, Jack. It's not just about geography or a fun trip. It's about what I've built, what I'm trying to protect. Jack's heart sank. I get that, but what if we could protect ourselves together? He felt the urgency rising. What if this could be a chance to create something new? A life, a family, where the kids can be happy? She raised her gaze, and for a fleeting moment, he saw the flicker of hope mirrored in her eyes. You really believe that? More than anything, he said, his voice gaining strength. I believe we can give them the world. But I need you with me, Maria. I need you to believe it too. I don't know. Her voice wavered, the conflict warring within her. Jack watched her wrestle with uncertainty and fear. He could see her mind racing, as if the possibilities might crush her. Emma bounded over, colorful drawing in hand. Look, Mommy. I drew a family. The earnest sincerity of her tone cut through the tension, and Jack could see a dawning realization dance across Maria's face. This was why they fought. Everything came back to the twins. That's beautiful, sweetheart, Maria replied. Her voice softened, and for a moment, Jack felt like they were all on the same page, but uncertainty still loomed. What if we don't find what we're looking for? Maria asked, her eyes searching his. Jack took a deep breath. But what if we do? For a brief moment, something shifted in the air, a kind of potential energy that hung between them. Jack felt it building, filling the room with an anxious energy, a shared breath before everything could change. Just then, the twins chimed in unison, their tiny voices rising in excitement. Can we go see the mountains, Daddy? And ride on ponies? Jack's heart swelled with emotion, but beneath it all lingered the anxiety of what could come next. Would Maria connect the dots? Would she take this leap of faith with him and the kids? As the twins giggled amongst themselves, Jack turned back to Maria, desperately hoping his words would resonate. Let us build something together, Maria. A family filled with adventures. Just say yes. But as he searched her eyes, he couldn't shake the feeling this was just the beginning of their journey, and the real challenges lay ahead. Maria stared into Jack's eyes, the weight of the moment pressing heavily against them both. The room felt electric with the children's laughter echoing in the background, yet all she could hear was the beat of her own heart, a rhythmic reminder of the fear that held her captive. Jack, she began, but the words caught in her throat. She wanted to believe him, to leap into the unknown and create a new life full of laughter and adventures, but her instinct screamed for caution. This isn't just a weekend getaway. It's everything. It's leaving behind my job, my friends, your life here. Jack cut in gently. I know, and it's a lot. But think about the kids. Think about what we could create together, a place where they can explore and grow without limits. Maria sighed, her brow furrowed with anguish and longing. She glanced toward the twins, who were now giggling and bouncing off each other, their carefree spirits a stark contrast to the tangled thoughts she was wrestling with. Emma's smile was wide and bright, a pure reflection of innocence and hope. How could she tell her little girl that adventure sometimes carried a hefty price? What if they hate it? What if they struggle? I can't bear the thought of uprooting them just for what? She questioned, her voice trembling. Jack leaned closer, his expression earnest. What if they thrive? What if this ignites a passion in them that we can't even imagine? Don't we owe it to them to at least try? Tears pricked at her eyes, fighting to break free. She shook her head softly. What's the guarantee that we won't fail? There aren't any guarantees in life, Maria, he replied, the steadiness in his voice like a reassuring balm. But I promise you this, I would be there with you. Through every high and low. We'd face it all together. Just think about what the kids deserve, a family that supports each other. In that moment, Jack's words hung in the air like a promise, and she felt a flicker of hope begin to unfurl inside her chest. The life she envisioned felt so close, yet the specter of doubt roamed large in her mind. Okay, she said, barely above a whisper. The children were watching now, their tiny faces alight with excitement. Okay, but what if it doesn't work out? Jack took her hands and squeezed gently. We wrestle with it together. Otherwise, we'll never know. We could be stepping into the greatest adventure of our lives. What will we tell everyone? Maria asked, glancing towards their chaotic living room. It was nothing compared to the world outside, but it was still familiar, a slice of normalcy. We tell them we are chasing our dreams, that we are showing the kids what it means to live fully. We don't need permission to start living our truth, Jack replied, the confidence in his voice stoking the fire of possibility within her. As Jack spoke, Maria couldn't shake the feeling of fear juxtaposed against a deep yearning for change. Would she really be able to let go of everything she knew and embrace the unknown? Just then, a warm voice called out, "Mommy, can we ride ponies too?" The twins clambered onto the couch beside them, their joy infectious. Her heart twisted. Maria knew that they were innocent and full of possibility. Could she really deny them what could be a dream come true? Okay, we can think about it, but she paused, hesitating at the edge of her decision. I need to know this isn't just a whim. That will be committed, all of us. Jack nodded earnestly, hope shimmering in his eyes. Then we'll make it work. We'll plan every little detail. Together. The twins bounced on the couch, little limbs flapping, giggling uncontrollably. The warmth of their joy wrapped around Maria like a soft blanket, pulling her closer to the decision she felt trembling on her lips. But just as she was about to let the excitement wash over her, her phone buzzed from the kitchen counter. The sound sliced through the moment like a cold breath of reality. Jack's gaze darted toward it, and an uneasy flutter twisted in Maria's stomach. She rose and retrieved her phone, her mind spinning wildly. What if it was bad news? Her breath faltered as she glanced at the screen, the name displayed sending an unexpected chill down her spine. Who is it? Jack asked, concern etched on his face. Maria hesitated, murmuring, It's Lucy. I wasn't expecting her to call. Jack's heart raced. You should answer. Maybe it's important. As she pressed the answer button, anxiety rose. But what she didn't expect was to find her life poised on the brink of another monumental change. The room around her faded away as she listened, her heart pounding and a new wave of uncertainty crashing over her. What if this call changed everything? Maria Lucy's voice crackled through the phone, pulling Maria back to the moment, but the worry laced in her tone made her stomach churn. Lucy, hi. What is going on? Maria replied, trying to sound calm, but the unease seeped into her words. I'm so glad you answered. I really need your help. Something happened. It's big, Lucy said, her voice trembling. What do you mean? Maria's heart raced. The weight of Jack's words hung in the air, and here was another storm brewing. Is everything okay? It's about Liam. He's not well. He needs to see a specialist, and I can't afford it right now. I don't know what to do, Maria. I kept thinking about how much you've sacrificed for your family. Can I ask you to help? It's so urgent. Maria's mind spun. This was everything she had been trying to escape from. The demands of life here, her friend's struggles weighing her down. But within Lucy's plea was a thread of desperation that tugged at her heart. Liam, their mutual friend, had always been part of their circle, a bright spark with big dreams. Of course, I want to help. But I need to know what exactly you're asking for. Money? Maria glanced over at Jack, who had grown still, the weight of the situation settling upon him too. No, not just that. I need you to come with me when I take him to the doctor. I can't face this alone. You've always had a way of calming me down, Lucy's voice cracked. Maria felt torn, the excitement of a new adventure waning. There was a pressing reality, one she had promised to leave behind. I don't know if I can, Lucy. I'm in the middle of making some big changes. Please. I wouldn't ask if it wasn't critical. I don't trust anyone else. Maria's heart softened at the urgency mixed with desperation. I'm scared, and I need my best friend with me. If you don't come, I may not even do this right. Closing her eyes, Maria exhaled deeply, uncertainty gnawing at her. Okay. When? Tomorrow morning. Can you do that? Yeah. I'll be there. Thank you. I wouldn't have called if it wasn't important. After disconnecting, Maria felt as though a weight had dropped on her shoulders. The room felt heavier, and she turned toward Jack, his expression a blend of confusion and concern. It's Lucy. She needs help with Liam. Jack ran a hand through his hair, brimming with anxiety. But what about us? What about the plans we just made? Jack, I can't turn my back on her right now. She's my friend. But I didn't expect this to happen, she whispered, feeling caught between loyalty and the dreams they discussed just moments before. The twins, oblivious to the tension, continued their playful antics. Their laughter echoed around the room, a stark contrast to the somber atmosphere surrounding their parents. Maria's heart felt torn again, one side longing for adventure, the other pulled toward responsibility. These things always come at the worst times, Jack said, frustration creeping into his voice. We finally stepped up to the edge of something new, and now I know, Maria cut in, her voice trembling. But it's not just about us anymore. It's about everyone we care about. Jack stood there, processing the weight of her words. I just want you to be happy. And I want us, as a family, to be happy. This was supposed to be a fresh start. A silence fell between them, thick with unspoken fears and wavering dreams. Maria could feel the tears starting to sting her eyes. I don't want to give this up, Jack, she pleaded softly. But I can't run away from what they need. Jack's expression softened, and he took her hands again. I'll support you, whatever you choose. But we need to have a plan. We can't let this hold us back from our future. Maria nodded, feeling both grateful and terrified. Lucy's call had redirected her path, and she couldn't shake the feeling that this moment could shift everything. As the anxiety settled, she felt the familiar urge to leap. But would she be leaping towards her dreams or away from them? Just then, Emma peeked around the corner, eyes bright with curiosity. Mommy, can we help Liam too? Tears spilled down Maria's cheeks as she gathered the little girl into her arms. Yes, sweetheart. We can help him. Together. But deep within, she wondered, was this the beginning of something profound or yet another detour in her life? And in that moment, a new question hung in the air: how would she balance the needs of others with her own growing desires? The morning dawned with a heavy cloud cover, making everything outside look dull and gray. Maria's heart mirrored the weather as she got ready to meet Lucy. The mundane routine of brushing her hair felt oddly intrusive against the weight of what lay ahead. Each stroke of the brush felt like a reminder of her commitments and a glimpse into the life she wanted. Are you going to be okay today, Mommy? Emma's tiny voice broke through her thoughts, a bittersweet spark of light. Maria knelt, meeting her daughter's eyes. I will be, sweetheart. I just have a friend who needs me right now. Can I come? Emma asked innocently, her tiny hands tugging at Maria's clothes. Not this time, sweet girl. Maria pulled her in for a quick hug, not wanting to share the weight of the situation with such innocent hearts. Just stay here with Daddy, okay? As she left the house, the cold air hit her, sending a shiver down her spine. The drive to Lucy's felt surreal, as the world outside moved on while she felt trapped in her own dilemma. The familiar route was now tinged with uncertainty, each turn bringing her closer to Lucy but also further away from the path she envisioned with Jack. Arriving at Lucy's apartment, Maria's nerves intensified, twisting in her stomach like tangled knots. She knocked, and Lucy opened the door, her face pale and strained. "Thank you for coming." Maria noticed the scattered toys and clothes around the living room. It was an echo of her own chaotic home but felt even more chaotic today, reflecting Lucy's frazzled state. Liam's voice drifted from the bedroom, weak and tired. "Mom, do I have to go? I don't feel good." Maria's heart sank. She stepped inside, trying to mask her own apprehension. "Hey, Liam," she called softly. "We're going to get you some help, okay?" A small, sad smile crossed his face, but it faded quickly. "I just want to stay here, Maria." The tension in the air thickened as Lucy started to pack a bag for him, her hands shaking. "I'm so scared, Maria. What if it's something serious?" Feeling an urge to comfort her friend, Maria put a reassuring hand on Lucy's shoulder. "We'll get through this. You and Liam are not alone." Those words felt like a lifeline, anchoring her even as her thoughts swirled. After squeezing Liam's hand, they made their way to the car, nerves palpable in the tight silence. Maria sat in the back with Liam while Lucy drove, her knuckles white on the steering wheel, focus intense. Liam leaned against Maria, too weak for the world outside, his small body shaking with every bump in the road. "Are you okay?" Maria whispered, brushing a stray hair from Liam's forehead. He nodded weakly but looked away, a frown creasing his small face. "What if I'm really sick? What if I can't go back to school?" "We're going to find out what it is," Maria assured him. "And then you will know what you need to do to feel better. You've got your whole family rooting for you." She believed it, but the uncertainty gnawed at her. Finally arriving at the clinic, Maria stepped out and helped Liam. He shuffled in with Lucy's guiding arm, looking small and vulnerable. The waiting room buzzed with patients, each lost in their own world, but all Maria could see was Lucy's deepening anxiety. As they checked in, a waiting nurse called Liam's name. "We're going in," Lucy said, voice trembling. Maria reached for her hand, giving it a squeeze. Here was the moment they'd been waiting for, the start of answers, but as they followed the nurse, Maria felt the tidal wave of anxiety wash over her. Would she be able to be both the support Lucy needed and the partner Jack deserved? In that instant, the thought hit her, what if this whole situation was a test, not just for Liam but for Maria, to navigate the space between love and duty? As they entered the room, Maria's heart raced, not just for Liam but for herself. This wasn't just about supporting her friend, it was about confronting her own fears and beliefs. How far was she willing to stretch her heart? And in that moment, she realized she faced not just Liam's health but the tangled web of her own choices. But one question loomed larger than all the rest: what if this encounter revealed more about her true self than she ever anticipated? Liam shuffled into the exam room, his little hand gripping his mother's tightly. Maria felt the warmth of that small hand against her own, a slight reminder that even in darkness, light still flickered. She positioned herself behind them, leaning against the wall, willing strength into the room. Dr. Matthews walked in, carrying an air of calm that rested on her shoulders like a gentle blanket. "Hello there, Liam. I'm Dr. Matthews. Can you tell me where it hurts?" Liam looked up, his bright eyes merely pools of uncertainty. "I just feel tired and my tummy hurts." Lucy knelt beside him, smoothing back his hair. "We're going to figure it out, honey," she whispered, her voice thick with love and fear. Maria watched them, her heart throbbing for both of them. The weight of Lucy's worry filled the small, sterile room. It was hard to tell where her fear ended and Maria's began. "Okay, let us take a look," the doctor said, motioning for Liam to hop up on the exam table. As he clambered up, Maria felt her adrenaline kick in. Could they handle whatever came next? Would Liam need something more than they were prepared to give? The doctor began her examination, her hands gently probing. The machines beeped softly, measuring time against anxious breaths. Maria found herself holding her own breath, mirroring the tension in the room. Suddenly, a soft whimper broke through her thoughts. It was Liam. "It's okay, buddy. Just a little poke, Maria encouraged, stepping closer. Liam turned, searching for comfort in her eyes. A moment passed, heavy with uncertainty, and Dr. Matthews took a deep breath. I think we need to run some tests to be sure, but for now, I want you both to know you're in good hands. Liam nodded, albeit slowly, his gaze still wide, almost pleading. But Maria was at war with herself. She felt compelled to share the burden with Lucy, to offer assurances, but she also felt an inexplicable pull toward Jack. What would he think? What would he do? The thought gnawed at her insides. Isn't he so brave? Maria said, remembering how her own childhood fears seemed insurmountable. I know you're scared, baby, but this is what we need to do. Liam took a deep breath, proving once more how resilient children could be. Can I have ice cream after? He asked, his voice much steadier. Of course you can, Lucy said, a smile breaking through her worried expression. Let us get through today first, okay? As they snuggled Liam back down, the mood shifted slightly, tension lessening. The air felt lighter for just a moment, though Maria still felt the heaviness lurking in the corners of the room, but the moment passed quickly when the nurse returned, carrying a clipboard. We're going to need Liam to come for X-rays next, she said. The return of uncertainty struck hard, each word cutting away the fragile comfort they built. Liam's face fell again, and Maria saw his shoulders slump. I don't want to go, he whispered. Lucy knelt again beside him, her eyes shimmering with helplessness. I know, sweetheart. But we must do this to help you feel better. And I'll be right here, I promise. In that moment, Maria instinctively reached out, squeezing Lucy's shoulder for solidarity. They were in this together, both of them, bound by love and fear for the little boy between them. Look, Maria said, her voice steady, imagine how good that ice cream will taste once you're back. We'll make a whole day of it, Liam. You'll feel better, and then we'll celebrate. Liam hesitated, considering that thought, and for a heartbeat, Maria's heart soared with hope. But as the moments unfolded with the nurse leading them away, an unsettling feeling wrestled within Maria. She felt like she was at a crossroads. Could she find the balance between being a support for Lucy while holding on to her own life with Jack? The door swung closed behind them, and as they walked toward the next step, Maria couldn't shake off the feeling. What if the answers they were seeking today would change everything, not just for Liam but for them all? As they faced the unknown corridors of the clinic, one question lingered in the air: was Maria ready to confront the truth waiting for her just around the corner? Clarkson Park sparkled under a bright afternoon sun, with children's laughter ringing out like delightful music. The air buzzed with excitement. Booths were set up for the community fair in full swing. Jack stood next to the twins, watching as they darted from game to game, their little faces illuminated with joy. The bright colors of balloons and streamers surrounded them, but nothing compared to the light in their eyes. Maria had returned the previous week, and the air between her and Jack now felt different, lighter. They had navigated the storm together. She had made decisions that placed the twins' happiness first, and Jack's unwavering support had turned fear into hope. Daddy! Watch this! Emma shouted, running towards the hoop with a bright string of red ribbons in her small hands. Ethan followed suit, his cheeks flushed with pure delight. Jack grinned broadly, an overwhelming sense of happiness enveloping him. He felt as if the weight of the world had been lifted. You've got this! He called, heart full. The twins bounced excitedly, each aiming for success in every game. With every moment, a renewed sense of purpose stirred within him. They may have been facing many uncertainties ahead, but they chose to do it together. Maria stood beside him, her gentle smile reflecting the pride they both felt. Can you believe how far we've come? She said softly, glancing up at him. Her voice was laced with gratitude and warmth, echoing their shared experiences. Jack thought back to the days of worry, those moments when they questioned their decisions, and how supportive Maria had been with him during it all. I'm so grateful for you, he replied sincerely. For everything. As the afternoon wore on, the fair buzzed with energy. Children dashed around, chasing each other, while parents exchanged anecdotes. Jack and Maria immersed themselves in conversations about the future. The possibilities felt endless. "Jack, I appreciate you being there for Liam's appointment with Lucy," Maria said, her expression growing serious. "It meant a lot to both of us." He reached out, squeezing her hand. "Of course. But it's not just about support. We're a family now." The warmth in their eyes reflected a shared understanding, so different from when they first met. In the joy of the twins' laughter, they found meaning, a new life built not just on love but on genuine connection and commitments. At that moment, Ethan stumbled, laughter turning into giggles as he quickly regained his balance. "I'm okay, Daddy." He laughed, his innocence brightening the space around them. Jack's heart swelled, and he realized they were learning together, experiencing life in all its messy, delightful glory. "Are you two ready for a cupcake?" Jack asked, pointing toward a stand covered in sugary treats. Emma and Ethan's eyes sparkled as they nodded enthusiastically, yes. As they strolled toward the stand, an unexpected sense of peace settled around them. They were overcoming obstacles, embracing moments both big and small. Maria smiled, her eyes catching his. In that moment, Jack knew they had indeed crafted something special from chaos, something beautiful. The sun began to set, painting the sky in shades of pink and orange, a picturesque end to the day. With cupcakes in hand, they found a cozy spot under a big tree, each taking joyful bites of their treats, giggling and growing closer. "Look at the sky!" Ethan exclaimed, his voice full of wonder. "It's like candy. Just like our cupcakes." Emma echoed, sending the group into fits of laughter. As the stars began to twinkle overhead, a realization washed over Jack. They weren't just parents, partners, or friends, they were a family, ready to take on anything hand in hand. When his phone buzzed, he saw a text from Lucy, thanking them for their support. He felt renewed determination to keep those connections alive, to continue being there for one another. Later that night, as they tucked the twins into bed, Jack watched Maria sing to them softly, their harmonious little world sealed with love. His heart swelled with the understanding that every decision led them here, to this extraordinary new beginning. In the end, it was love that transformed them, the unwavering support, the commitment to choose joy amidst chaos. And now, everything felt right, not just for them but for their little adventures ahead as a family bound together by love. And as they fell asleep, one thing was certain, they would always find a way to embrace the magic in every moment, together. Subscribe immediately to the channel to not miss the next exclusive stories, leave a like now to feed the algorithm, comment your reactions and feelings about the ending. Share instantly this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformation. You need to subscribe now. This is the moment to show your support. Don't wait not even one more second to share.